All right, welcome back to another episode of my movie review series, episode 262. Now, last week I gave you not much of a hint. I just said that I just said I was going to compare the original Assault on Precinct 13 with the remake. Well, here it is right here. Assault on Precinct 13, 2005. Assault on Precinct 13, the remake. Whatever you want to call it. But yeah, Assault on Precinct 13, 2005. Yeah, Ethan Hawke, Lawrence Fishburne, John Leguizamo, Maria Bello, Ja Rule. Rule, baby! Drea De Matteo. Oof, yes. Oh. Brian Dennehy, the late Brian Dennehy, and Gabriel Byrne. Yeah. This movie, the remake of the 1976 Carpenter classic. Yeah. I gotta say, out of all the remakes out there, this is one of them that is actually good. It's not as good as the original, but it's actually good. Obviously, if I'm doing this review, it has to be good. Good to me, at least. But yeah, this movie, this movie is actually good. I really like it. Man, seeing Lawrence Fishburne in here, man, seeing him play one of the coolest bad guys I have ever seen, man. I mean, shit. You see a brother play a bad guy, he got to bring out the full coolness of him, the full coolness. I mean, hell, Wesley Snipes in New Jack City, brother was cool from the start all the way to the end. When he died, cool, But yeah, with this movie, man, you see Lawrence in this movie, surrounded by the cops, he is surrounded. He's standing outside the church. He is surrounded by cops, man. He got the shades on. He got his very stylish outfit on. That's a nice suit. But yeah, you get the camera angle. He is just like swinging around. You could follow him as the camera is swinging. We got a nice shot of him being surrounded by the cops. His hand is up. They say drop the gun. Yeah, he dropped the gun. His hand's still up because he's cool. Man, he is just straight cool in this movie from the beginning, from when we first see him all the way up to the end when he make his escape. Spoiler alert. But yeah. When a brother plays a villain, they're gonna have to bring out the full coolness of them. And yeah, Lawrence playing the villain in this movie, playing a villain named Bishop, opposed to the black guy in the first movie that played a cop. His name was Bishop. Keep the brother named Bishop in these movies, man. but yeah, I tell you though, you got the coolness of Lawrence in this movie. You got Drea De Matteo's sexy fine ass in this movie. And you got Maria Bello looking good in that blue dress, man. I mean, her back is out and everything. It's kind of plunging. And yeah, she's looking good in this movie. Yeah, you got old school Brian Dennehy in this movie, man. I tell you. Movie is stacked. And yeah, it's an action thriller too. Just like the original, Even though the original was directed by Carpenter, we all know Carpenter is a horror. He's a horror director, He's a horror guy through and through. But yeah, he can direct some action too. Hell, he can direct some sci-fi with The Last Starfighter. But hey, nobody don't talk about that. But But yeah, with this movie though, it's just a straight up pretty damn good remake. I mean, a lot of tropes from the original movie is in this movie. A lot of tropes. You can find a lot of Easter eggs too. I mean, hell, the running gag in the original movie is the line "gotta smoke," and yeah, in this movie, you only heard it once, and you had to really catch it because he said it once, but he said it a little bit fast. Um, Ronek's character, Ethan Hawke's character, Ronek, he was undercover as a drug pusher. Yeah, you know, yeah, he grabbed his dog. He got rid of one of his partners in the on the case, and he actually he got smoke. But yeah, you got that, man. It's the goddamn siege. That line was thrown in. You know, a lot of tropes from the first movie, and mixed in with this one right here. And yeah, man, yeah, whew, very. Uh, it was very stylishly written, in my opinion. Of course, it's very stylishly written. But yeah, it's just a action thriller. Only this time, it wasn't a street gang that's trying to infiltrate the soon to be closed down police station. It is still a gang, but a gang of crooked cops, led by uh, Gabriel Byrne's character, Marcus Duvall. Yeah, the reason why. And here's another thing. Here's another thing. The original movie, it did not have a backstory at all. Did not have a backstory at all. I mean, all we had, the movie. The movie was it was simplicity at its finest. The original movie was simplicity at its finest. But what you can separate with this movie is the fact that this movie had a lot of backstory and maybe a little bit too much of it. I see what they were trying to do, as far as separation of the original to the updated remake. I see what he was trying to do. DeMonico, James DeMonico. I see what he was trying to do. When he wrote this movie. He had the premise, but then he put in a lot of backstory, with Marcus Duvall and Marion Bishop's character. Marion Bishop, played by Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, I'd be pissed off too if I had to go through life with the name of Marion. Okay, I mean, yeah, you're a hardened criminal. You're a notorious gangster, and your name is Marion. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'd be pissed off too. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey man, his name is Marion. He got a girl's name. I mean, hell, I covered that with the Cobra review. Yeah, I covered that with the Cobra review. So but yeah, with this right here, yeah, we got a backstory between Marcus Duvall and Marion Bishop, and then you have Ronek's story, pretty much set up his character. He didn't set up the movie. He just set up his character because, his character, what was it, 4 months? They say 4 months that he was on he was on the injury list. No, he was a yeah, he's a street cop through and through. Okay, he's a street cop through and through, but he got the desk job because he took an injury in the filed up case from 4 months ago. So yeah, he got his team killed back then, and now, he took the desk job because he don't want to live with he won't live with no more guilt of getting anybody else killed, which is a perfect setup for this movie because he have to be responsible for all these people that that is locked inside this police station with him. The secretary, the doctor, the 5 inmates, and the other cop that's with him, and then himself also. But yeah, he had to look after all these cats and look after himself. And yeah, it's like 4 months ago all over again. Only thing is, he got a fucking squad outside waiting to get in. A fucking squad, a hit squad, waiting to get in. But yeah, the original movie was simplicity at its finest. But then the remake here is just loaded with backstory, but they're trying to make it up with the action too. They try to make it up with the action, and then they try to top the original movie. In certain ways, they did because it's updated. In certain ways, they did because it's updated, but in other ways, it, they just didn't capture the intensity, the excitement from the original. When the gang was trying to get inside the building, and he had Bishop standing at the door of one office, and he's firing, fending them off, and then you got Wilson. He's at the door of the other office, and he's firing, fending them off, and then you got Lee with the uh, entrance to the cell, and then you got Wells with the front door. They're all firing, and we all seeing different camera shots of them in action. We got that, and then we get this movie right here where it was you can see character highlights, but it still was a little bit not sloppy. It just wasn't. It just wasn't as intense. It was exciting, but it wasn't as intense. It wasn't kind of post-pounding. It may be because the original had John Carpenter score also. So yeah, you know, the like I said, the original is simplicity at its finest, and then you got this right here. It's trying so hard to top the original, but yeah, it makes up. It makes up for their backstory. It makes up for the progression of the story, and it makes up for the action. But the action was just not like the original. But I tell you though, you know, it was it was a rather it was rather enjoyable. It was rather enjoyable all at the same time, man. All at the same time. Yeah, I'll mention that the fact that you had Bishop and Iris, the secretary. They had nice little sexual tension between them. Especially when they had a moment alone with each other. And there's a lot of rumors about Bishop. He got shot 5 times. And there's a bullet still in the stomach. lodging around, getting a lot of intestinal issues and everything like that. Yeah, but then there's a rumor that he once pulled a man's spine out. Bishop had to clarify that. It was an Adam's apple. You know, you ever get into any tussles? You grab a man by his throat, you dig in, then you squeeze. And I promise you, he'll drop and not get up for quite some time. Yeah, he took off his glove and he had his hand around her throat, and he was just saying, saying the same line that I just recited, you know, you know, he's not doing anything with it. He just got his he got his hand around her throat. The look on her face, she is 100% turned on. Okay, she is 100% turned on. Oh man, I swear. But yeah, yeah, that was, you could see, yeah, he may be gone for a long time, so there might be a slim chance that he's gonna get some pussy out of this. And yeah, she's a loose chick anyway. Okay, I mean, talking about the story of her having left field under the bleacher sex at Tiger Stadium. Oh yeah, this movie is set in Detroit, by the way. Yeah, yeah, nobody's watching except for the left fielder that may have gotten a nice little show out of it. Oh man, I swear. Yeah, her telling that story, and she mentioned the fact that yeah, she likes bad boys and everything, and she mentioned the fact that through a stressful time that she would she would think about sex. I mean, yeah, she got this very handsome, not gonna say gentleman because dude's a notorious gangster. He's a very handsome dude who is a straight up bad boy. I mean, he's a dangerous motherfucker. And yeah, I mean, this is like a challenge for her. I mean, oh boy, this is it's just it's crazy. It's crazy, but it's crazy, but it's interesting. Yeah, they got Drea De Matteo, sexy ass, to play this character, man. Hmm. I mean, he's seen it in The Sopranos. He should know what I'm talking about. So yeah, yeah. And yeah, and then you got the sexual tension between Maria Bello and Ethan Hawke. Their characters. You can tell. Yeah, even though even though she's trying to hide it, you can tell. You can tell just by the way she looks at him. Tell just by the way she looks at him, especially later on in the movie. When they're in dire straits and everything like that. They're under attack, and yeah, she may not even see him again. You can tell that she want to say something. Even one of the inmates, when they were stealing the car, one of the inmates, Anna, she pointed it out. Yeah, 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 yeah. The sergeant, that's your boyfriend, right? Yeah, she said, she 100% denied it, but you know, you can tell. Yeah, she want him. You can tell. You can tell. Okay, you can't be fooled by these things. A lot of character study in this movie. Okay? A lot of character study. I like this. I like this shit. But yeah, a lot of character study in the movie. A lot of backstory. You know. Oh. Even though this movie is not as good as the original, I still give it a 4 out of 5. I give it a real solid 4 out of 5 because this movie is just it is just it hit certain marks. It hit certain marks. Original Simplicity at its finest, but this one it hit certain marks, and yeah, it makes up for those certain marks. You know, they went from Los Angeles in the original to Detroit in this one, and then you got a street gang in the original that they had to fight, crooked cops in this one that they had to fight. The simple fact that the cop and the criminal walked out together as allies in the original. In this movie, yeah, this movie makes a hell of a lot more sense to have the criminal get away, but in a show of respect, the cop don't let him know that the criminal is still out there. Okay, Roenick did not let the other cops that came to the rescue, some good cops. Roenick did not let them know that Bishop is still out there, even though he could have told them, he's that way. He did not let them know that because he got respect. He got respect for this cat. So yeah, with all of that being said, there's the real comparison. There's a real comparison. You know, it's much more. It's much more realistic. It's much more relatable to see that the notorious scumbag gangster has gotten away. He was cool as hell, and he has gotten away, but is under the respect for the cop. But hey, he did give a warning. Yeah, I will find you. No other cop, just me. He did give him that warning, so they left the room open for the story to continue, even though they ain't leave no room open to have a possible sequel, nothing like that. It was nothing like that. But still, in our minds, we get to we know that they will meet up again. They will have a confrontation once again, and yeah, it might end up with Bishop killing Roenick or Roenick killing Bishop. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, they're gonna meet up again, and maybe in a friendly duel, they'll see who the better man is, or whatever the hell they did back in the westerns. But anyway, yeah. So on Precinct 13, this remake of the '76 original, yeah, it is a straight up solid 4 out of 5 from me, Jack. That's my review, and I'm sticking to it. Now next week, this is kind of like a tradition now, Memorial Day weekend, I gotta do a military themed film. I gotta do a military themed, yeah, I gotta review a military themed film. Memorial Day weekend next week, man. So yeah, for the first time ever, Chuck Norris will come to the movie review series next week. Yeah, Chuck Norris, he's gonna bring his crew. He's gonna bring a whole. If I say it, then it's you're gonna know what the movie is exactly. He's gonna bring his whole crew, and they're going to put an end to this act of terrorism that is jacking an airplane, an airline. So yeah, that's next week. Yeah, Chuck Norris, man. I get to cover a Chuck Norris movie. It's gonna be great. Yeah. And what you heard on the internet, is it true or not? But yeah, I get to cover a Chuck Norris movie. So yeah, check my other shit right here and subscribe to me right here. But in the meantime, in between time, Jack, this show is